Now, without any further ado, we're going to have Mrs. Evans come up and be with you for a few minutes.
Yay! I asked to come over and take a little bit of Mrs. Walker's time because I wanted to talk with you just a minute. And when she said people are wanting to know how to work with teenagers, I am not sure that you need to be worked with any different than just anybody. It's just wonderful what I see you all are. Either teenagers have changed or you're better nowadays or something. I don't know what it is. But all I know is it seems to me that even if we, in our own awkward way, give you something we like and you wouldn't even like it, it doesn't really matter. You're just so glad, it seems like to me, that we care about you. And I feel like you who are working with teenagers, that it's like with anybody else. They want to know you care. I want to know you care. They want to know you care. There's no little babies want to know you care. Babies die if they don't get held and rocked and cared. They can even be fed, but they have to have some individual care. And I feel as if we've been treating you like a weird species in the forest or something. And I think you're just kind of like the rest of it. You want to know we care. And I can't believe you love me. I know you've never been loved till you've been loved by a teen, because, boy, when you give your love, you give your loyalty, and undying loyalty, and I can feel your love. I don't feel... Now, I walked in this morning, we're staying at the Best Western, and right, Denny's is connected to it, and we walked in really early to get breakfast, when we first woke up, and there were 4 older teens. They might have been 20, but they were probably 18 or 19, something like that. 3 were guys, 1 was a girl, and they looked over at me funny, and I felt I was getting intimidated. I'm old, I'm sick, and I thought, what did I tell you? What do I say in churches? Go toward them. I went right over to them and leaned over and said, could I, out of idle curiosity, could I ask you something? I tried to think on my way over there what to say, And they said, and because they had been looking, they'd definitely been looking at us. And I don't know which one of us they were looking at, but I took it was me and that they were making fun of me. See, that's what we do that. And so I went up there, and, like that old lady, how can she totter out this early in the morning? That's what we're thinking. I'm telling you, we're bad. Your grandmas are thinking that. They need you to reassure them that you think they're neat, cute, whatever, sharp, feisty, whatever you can say. If they swing their wheelchair real well, tell them, and put a decoration on it or something, you may have a swinging grandma, but let's get to great grandmas then. I don't care. But anyway, I went up to them and I said, I thought, oh, they're out early in the morning for Saturday morning. I said, what? I'm out because I've got to go to work. I didn't think they'd understand. I didn't want to say ladies being, I call this work. It's so much fun, I don't know. But anyway, I said, I'm out because but why are you all up so early on Saturday morning? And they said, well, they have a community college. They're going to school and everything. And then the girl said, is that 14 or 18 karat gold? It's just a costume watch. In fact, Jojo, it's one that the boys in the class of your class got me that time. And that girl said, is that 14 or 18 karat gold? I went, it's a nice watch. It's a Bulova, but it's not real gold, And that's what they'd been looking at. When I walked in, she saw the sparkly gold, and I thought, see? And I had a good interchange with them. And maybe they think more of older people, and I think more of just even the world's younger people by that. And of course, you all are the cream of all the young people. I want a flower given out to each one of you because they were mine in my room. And I didn't know who to give them to. So would you ladies give one to each one? And if you want to exchange, Debbie, will you help too so we can do it a little bit faster? Because I want Loretta to get up here as fast as she can. But and then would you put your flower down? You can exchange it after if you want to. I don't care at all if you exchange it. But I wanted to give you something, and I tried to think, what do I have that I could afford for this large of a group? And just be sure just teenagers get it, because I think we just counted teenagers. You all will understand. And so anyway, I've enjoyed them so much in my room. And I just want you to know I love you and that I believe in you and I care about you. And you say, how could you care about me, Mrs. Evans? You don't even know me. When a mother has a baby, she starts loving that baby soon after that baby's growing in her body. And she hasn't even seen it yet. She doesn't have to have the baby born to love it. When they lose it without being able to distinguish the features, they still love that baby. I was coming here, I thought about who I'd be with, and I began to plan for you and do for you, and I've been agonizing over what to say to you and that type of thing in the meetings and everything. I don't have to know you personally to love you. I made a decision to love you. If I could love you, if I could know you individually, it would be my gain. But since I can't, if it means anything to you, I probably wouldn't love you more. I wouldn't love you less, I wouldn't love you more. Because my heart's bursting with love to think you'd be in here on Saturday morning listening to an old woman who's sick talking to you. I love you very much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Evans. Now I'm going to talk to you just for a few minutes about hope as a teenager. Hope. You know, one of the things that I have a 13-year-old now, and I know how scary those teenage years are. And I know how self-conscious you can be. Do you know what I'm saying about being self-conscious? I have 3 points. First one is you're okay if you're trying. Have you ever heard that you're good, better, best? Never let it rest till your good is better and your better's best? Try it with me. Good, better, best. Never let it rest till your good is better and your better's best. See, it's good, better, best. Never let it rest till your good is better and your better's best. So what I'm saying to you is this. Right now, at my daughter's 13, she's just starting these teenage years. She's starting to learn how to be a young lady. What's appropriate, what's not appropriate, and do I give up dolls or do I not give up dolls? You know, all those things. You know what? It's only important that you're trying. Now, be patient with us adults. I get so frustrated with my teenagers sometimes. Do you know that? Because in my mind, I think she's already 18, and I expect too much out of her. Anybody can relate to that? Your mom expects too much out of you, or your teacher expects too much out of you, whatever it is. So be patient with us adults. That doesn't mean you scream at us, but you just be patient with us. And you understand that when we expect too much out of you, it's because it's your fault. You look too old, or you act too old at the moment. So just try. Just keep on trying. I know a young teenage girl. I look out at this crowd, and some of you can't even hardly look at me when I walk by you. And you know what I think of? They are so shy and insecure. Can I use that word without making it offensive to you? They're so shy and insecure that they don't know even how to talk to Miss Loretta, who I try to pour out the love as I walk around, you know. But just keep trying. Like, glance up at people every once in a while. You know, take what she just talked about and apply it right now to yourself. What area of your life are you frustrated with? Is it your weight? Is it your shyness? Is it your boisterousness? Are you too loud and everybody knows it and they call you big mouth everywhere you go? You know, just do something. Turn the light. Oh, you're looking at her. Don't give her a hard time. Turn the light on or open the door. Find something that you can do about that. If you are shy, just practice going up and talking to one person. Find somebody you can trust to go up and talk to and practice talking to them, if that's your problem. Number 2, some things you can't do now, you'll be able to do later. Some of you don't make good grades, and some of you really try. I mean, you good, better, best, you've tried and tried and tried, and you can't make good grades. Do you know what? Oh, I've taught for 5 years. Now I've taught for, that was a traditional school situation. I taught for 5 years, but now I've been homeschooling for 8, 9 years. Well, look, there are some people that just aren't compatible with certain subjects. Do you know what I'm saying about that? How many of you, math is not your thing, right? And you can try. Now, that doesn't mean you give up and you say, well, Miss Loretta said math's not my thing, so it don't matter. I can get F's. And she gave me permission. No, I'm not saying that. Go back to point one. Keep trying. But realize that if school is not your thing now, don't let it get you down. Don't feel so insecure. Don't feel like such a dummy. My brother is a genius. He's got a photographic memory. The brother that's 3 years older than me. And I followed him in school. Everybody, all the teachers looked at me like I was supposed to be just as smart as him. And I fooled them. So if you can't make grades now, can I just give you some hope? I know it. I knew several people. Right now, there's a young man I'm thinking of. His name is Robbie. And I tutored him a lot. I tutored him and he got D's. Do you understand what I'm saying? School was not his thing. Academics was not his thing. Do you know what that young man's doing now? He's an electrician in Chicago. Do you know how much money he makes a year? Drives one of those big fancy BMWs. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you're to grow up and make money. I'm not saying that. But sometime you will find your niche. Don't be frustrated with yourself. Don't feel so, I'm dumb because I can't make grades, or I can't talk to boys. Or I can't, whatever it is you say I can't, you'll be able to do it later probably. If you're the kind that does number one and keeps trying. You'll grow. As we travel along, my daughter is somebody that you'd call more reserved, quiet person. And it's very hard for her to go in new churches with new teenagers because teenagers don't reach out to you. Now, I'm sure that's not true with this church in particular. But most of the time, teenagers sort of just look at you like you're a freak, and they don't come up to you, and they're scared of you is what it is. And I try to tell Jeannie, they're just scared of you. And she looks good, because she's got long, beautiful red hair. It's down here past her waist. And she just, the more you look good, the more people are intimidated by you. So, as we go travel in all these places, it's hard for her to be around these teenagers. But I keep telling her, at 13, you don't have to know how to go up and go into a group of teenagers and talk to them. But Jeannie, when you're 17, I will expect you to be able to go up and talk to a group of girls. See? And I just keep assuring her. So you know what? If you don't have a coach like that that's assuring you, you're okay, and if you can't do it now, you'll be able to do it later. Can I say this? You encourage yourself in the Lord. That's what David did. He didn't sit back and wait for somebody to come and pat him on the back or tell him something good. He encouraged himself. Anytime I make a mistake, I'm the first one that says, Loretta, you big dummy. And I like something you're supposed to do, and you're supposed to know how to do that, and why did I make that mistake? And I knew better than doing that. As soon as I make the mistake, I just say, you big dummy, and then I say, okay, I'll do better next time. And I learn from the mistake, and I go on with life. Some of you, when you make a mistake, you crucify yourself. You bat yourself down. You punish yourself. Then it just is so hard on you. I'm asking you, when you make a mistake, just get up and go again. And it's okay, and don't feel so self-conscious about it. Don't feel so bad about it. Number 3 is, as a teenager, you are now learning slowly how to express yourself, how to explain yourself. You're learning how to tell people what you need in a right way. You remember how you, as a junior age, how you told people what to do? Mom! And you whined. Do you remember that? Now that you wouldn't do that. You're too cool. You're too old to whine. So now you're in a transition and learning how to express yourself and explain to people what you need and to talk to people in the right way. I tell Jeannie and I laugh all the time with each other. She's not an airhead. She's not a blondie, Miss Sarah. But since in the last year, there have been times when, everybody said they have a senior moment and they forget. Do you know how that is? Well, I've been telling Jeannie, you're having a teen moment, aren't you? Like she'll say, where do I find such and such? And she knows where it is. Do you know how that is? And I want to say, you want to know where to find the flashlights? And she said, yeah, Mom, where's the flashlights? And I said, Jeannie, is this a teen moment? Is this a teen moment? And she'll laugh, yeah, Mom, it's a teen moment. And then we'll talk about it, and she'll figure out where the flashlights is on her own and go get them, But when when you can't, when you don't know, when something happens and you just, you just go blank. Or do you go blank, you teenagers? I don't know what it is. It might be your hormones are kicking in. I don't know what it is, but I do find that they go blank. I've worked with teenagers for 20-some years now, and I know they know right, and I know they know to do good and all that, but they just go blank. Well, it's just tell yourself, it's just a teen moment, and I'm going to get over this. And you're going to learn how to express yourself. If you get nervous around guys, if you get so nervous and you say, I bet they see me shaking. And when they look at me, I just look straight down, and I don't want them to know. I think they're cute. If you feel that way, just say, you'll learn how to express yourself. Hey, big boy. No, I don't want you to get that expressive. I don't want you to get that expressive. But what I'm saying to you is you'll feel more comfortable as the years progress. Be patient with yourselves. Please don't get frustrated, and don't be the kind of girls that you're 13, you want to act 17. And you're 13, you expect yourself to be older and more mature, and you expect yourself to be more emotionally, And you know what? Encourage us adults. Now, you don't whine and say, Mom, I'm only 14. Mom, you don't say that. Say, Mom, I'm trying. I'm just trying, and I really want to please you. And teacher, I really want to do good on this math, but it's hard. This science, biology is, I know it's a needed subject, but it's really hard for me. And express that. And then say, how can I talk to you? Even ask lots of questions. How can I talk to my teacher about this? Or talk to your mom. How can I talk to my mom? How can I talk to you about this? Mom, I've got an area that's really hard for me, and I don't know how to talk to you about it. You know what? Any mom, any teacher would melt away, and they'd calm down. They'd get out of their fits. You know what the hard thing about it is? Most of the time when the teenagers are having teen moments, the mothers are having PMS moments. That's what's so hard. And we scream at you. So let's just be patient with each other. And all I want to do is just give you hope. To realize that you are something. You are somebody right now. But not only that, you are going to be somebody later on. Maybe you're not excelling right now. Maybe you're not a cheerleader. Maybe you didn't make the grade in cheerleading. Maybe you're not what's that queen? Tournament queen. You didn't make that. But if you are trying, God will lift you up, and He will exalt you, and He will make you what you need to be in the future. I've known people that were absolutely duds in high school. You know what I mean by duds? You just didn't see any light about them. You thought, are they alive even? I've known teenagers like that. Then they get to college, and all of a sudden, something turns on, and man, they're sharp. They're winning they're just really sharp. And you say, where did he come from? What, did the last summer change him? You just think that way. So be patient. And realize people believe in you, even if they don't know how to express it, too. Because even though that we're supposed to know how to express ourselves and talk and all that, some of the time we really don't, except for screaming and all that. Let's have a word of prayer. Father, thank you so much for these girls. Lord, this is our future before us. This is California's future. And Lord, they're so important to us. And all, Lord, we wanted to do was encourage them. I know Mrs. Evans wanted to express to them her love for them and her belief in them. And I know that every year that Mrs. Evans comes back here, she'd like to see these girls back here, and she'd like to see them doing right and living for God. Lord, not that they have to be preachers' wives, or not that we have a certain goal, they have to be a certain thing, but Lord, that they just be doing right and trying. Please, God, bless them. Lord, give them security and help them to know that if they're just trying, that things will turn out right for them. Give them that hope. Give them that feeling of security and knowing that you're proud of them and that we're proud of them. And please, I beg you, God, to bless them. Now, with your heads bowed and your eyes closed, is there any teenage girls that you say, Miss Loretta, I feel frustrated about myself all the time. And thank you for this talk. It's encouraged me. Is anybody like that? You'd raise your hand as a testimony. I feel frustrated with myself all the time. Okay, put your hands down. Is anybody, you say, Miss Loretta, my problem is a little more serious, and there have been times when I've contemplated suicide. Do you know suicide? The death, Debbie Braddock told me that the number one way in the nation right now for teen deaths is suicide. I personally know about 5 teenagers that killed themselves. Christian teenagers that grew up in a Christian home. Is there anybody, nobody else is looking around, close your eyes and bow your heads. I don't want anybody else to see this, but I want to know to pray for you. Is Is there anybody here you'd say, Miss Loretta, there have been times when I have contemplated suicide. Is there anybody like that? You just thought of it. Okay, I'm not making any kind of comments to you except for this. Now you can put your hands down. May I ask you to go talk to somebody? Learn how to express yourself, to talk this out, to get over it. You don't have to live that kind of a life. You don't have to feel that way. And if I was here, I would hunt you down and I would make you talk to me. But I'm not here. But you know what? There is somebody that's in your church that would like to talk to you about it and help you with it. But the problem is they're not going to hunt you out because they don't know. They didn't have you raise your hand. So I beg you to go talk to somebody so that you're not one of the statistics. Please, please, please. God's got a purpose for your life and he wants to use you. Now, is there anybody here that you'd say, Loretta, I want to be that kind of a person for teenagers, and Mrs. Evans has really challenged the adults that are around here to care about teenagers. Is there anybody here you'd say, I want to care about teenagers, and I'm praying right now that God will give me a bigger burden to help them and being more of an encouragement to them. Is there anybody like that? Look at all good adults, all the adults. Thank you, adults. These teenagers need you, and they love the attention if you'd give it to them. Father, thank you for this time. I do pray, God, that you'll bless these girls and help them not be frustrated with themselves. Lord, just please, I beg you, give them peace and help some adult that's been challenged during this meeting to reach out and get one of these girls that are at the end of the rope before it's too late. Please, God, I beg you in Jesus' name, amen. Now,